afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, boss. Thank you, sir.
We were just discussing whether these days COEP is more about civil service and less about engineering.
Sir, according to me, civil service, COEP is both about civil service and engineering. Because, sir, I think it's a personal choice of anyone to become a civil servant.
I don't think I'm saying this or asking this as a question.
Sir, because there have been many people from COEP who make it to the civil service.
It's almost now a tradition.
Sir, it is because COEP has a very long tradition, and there is a lot of awareness among people about civil services in COEP, and because the number of students are high and the interaction between them is more, so that gives them a more exposure right from the first year, so they took towards it.
That too, your branch is instrumentation, which like most of engineers want, right?
Yes, sir.
So what makes you leave that and join the field where there is hardly any use of your background?
Sir, I always wanted to be in the civil services right from my 10th standard, and instrumentation and control engineering I primarily did because it was a good career option if I could not make into the civil services. But sir, I had decided right in my childhood that I will give 2 serious attempts after graduation to become a civil servant.
What made you pick up pol science as your option or something?
So there were primarily 2 or 3 important reasons. Firstly, my branch was not offered by UPSC as an optional subject. Secondly, I had an intellectual interest in studying India's foreign policy, and political science gave me that opportunity. And thirdly, this subject gets a decent amount of marks in UPSC in the optional.
Tell us about some either articles you're saying that is your hobby or you like to, some important foreign policy articles or magazines or the writers you like to.
Sir, any one of them or any?
Your choice.
Sir, I particularly like to read articles of Suhasini Heather ma'am in the Hindu and C. Raja Mohan sir in the Indian Express.
So you were particular that you liked?
Sir, recently, just last Tuesday, 2-3 days back, I was reading an article in the Indian Express of C. Raja Mohan sir, which was about non-alignment and strategic autonomy. So, sir, I liked that article because in that article, the author mentioned that India should go for an approach of aligning with other powers like US, China, Russia, because in our strategic discourse, the general understanding is that alignment means it's like a wedlock, so we cannot come out of it. But sir, he gave example of countries like Pakistan, who after independence for a few years aligned with America to counter India, and later when China appeared to be more better country for them, they aligned with China also. He also gave example of Nepal.
What do you understand by the term hawks and doves with respect to foreign policy?
Sir, I've not heard it a lot.
Hawk and dove, HAWK
Sir, I've heard it, but I don't have a lot of understanding of it.
Is the non-alignment over and irrelevant?
So my perspective is non-alignment is not irrelevant because sir, India's location in the world is such that India cannot align completely with one particular country for
maintaining. Every country has preferences which are temporal nature.
Yeah.
But sir, I think our location is such that it will not be correct for us. Like for instance, sir, Europe to some extent can align a lot with America instead of aligning with Russia or China. But India, I think, cannot do like that because we have our own a lot of interest to be fulfilled from all the major powers of the world. So therefore, sir, I think we should go for multiple alignment itself.
The state building which is known as Chanakya.
Yes.
Is extremely new to the world in the context.
Sir, Chandrabhaga was primarily the name of the mother of the person who built, the builder of that building. And in general, sir, Chandrabhaga has multiple meanings. Chandrabhaga is the name of Chenab River, an alternative name of Chenab River, which is one of the tributary of Indus. And apart from that, even Bhima River, which flows in Maharashtra, is called as Chenab, is called as Chandrabhaga, sorry, sir. And Chandrabhaga beach is also there in Odisha.
So in Maharashtra, there is where we call it as Chandrabhaga.
Sir,
what is the cultural significance of Chandrabhaga in Maharashtra?
Chandrabhaga, so the entire Bhima River is called as Chandrabhaga, so particularly in Maharashtra. Apart from that, significance I'm not much about it.
Okay, in international relations, there is a concept, geography is destiny. To what extent do you agree or disagree with that? And can you explain it, citing some specific countries?
What, sir? Geography is destiny?
My question. Geography is destiny.
Geography is destiny.
Do you agree or not agree? And how would you justify it in terms of any specific countries that you mentioned?
Sir, I think the statement is quite correct because geography does determine what will be a country's policies in the world affairs. Sir, if we take our own country's example, sir, India has to have good relations with China as well as with, it should try to have good relations with all the neighboring countries because they are having borders with India. So if we have hostile relations with them, it would affect our own interest and our own economic growth and stability. I also, sir, can cite example of countries of.
All countries have borders with other countries, and then in what way is any country's geography special?
Sir, it may happen that some countries' geography.
Can be more specific? Pick Pakistan as a country. Can you explain in what way Pakistan's geography, since you agree with this,
yes,
in what way has geography turned out to be destiny for Pakistan?
So, geography has played a very crucial role in Pakistan. For instance, sir, Pakistan is one of the only way for US to reach Afghanistan. So, even if US does not want to have good relations with Pakistan.
He's already said that. Apart from neighborhood, the geographical features that destine what you become.
Sir, I think the mineral resources, the natural.
Give examples.
Sir, according to me, Gulf countries' influence in the world to some extent comes because of the oil that they have. And apart from that, even US gets a lot of influence in the world because they are sided by both Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean.
Taking this argument further, geography is destiny is now changing to geography is history.
Sir, I think
with that?
Geography is history. Sir, I think both of them matter. Geography will continue to play an important role, but there are other factors also that are going to shape the future course in foreign policy, like history, the social factors, the military prowess that a country has, the technological upgradation.
I think geography is history actually means geography is irrelevant. Is history, is past. It has no influence on the future. That's what it means. So you agree with that statement?
Sir, I don't think that this statement is correct. Like, geography is completely history and we can completely neglect it. Because sir, geography does it does define that what kind of policies we will be having, whether in the external or in the domestic sphere. And geography also determines the demography of a particular place, the rivers that flow, the resources that we have. So all this comes from geography itself. So it is still important.
What is hard Brexit?
Sir, hard Brexit, as far as I have heard from the various newspapers, according to me, hard Brexit means that Britain completely goes out of the European Union without any deal with the EU. So it would be treated like any other country having relationship with the European Union, like maybe India or China, etc.
And if that happens, what will be the impact of it on India?
Sir, according to me, it will have both positive and negative impact on India. Sir, on the positive side, I feel that if Britain gets a hard Brexit, then it would require many other countries to support itself. So India is one of the major countries with which Britain has historic relations. So that will be beneficial for India. But on the negative side, it may also happen that the kind of protectionism and nationalist attitude that would emerge in Britain after that would perhaps affect Indian companies working there as well as the Indian workers and their own security. So it may have both the impacts.
With how many countries does India have a strategic relationship? First of all, what is a strategic relationship?
So strategic relationship, according to me, means that we have some strong partnership in many sectors.
But it's not an alliance.
No, sir, I don't think it is an alliance.
So why is this needed? I mean, it seems to me like the way you kids write on Facebook, you are in an open relationship. That is what a strategic relationship is. You can be with plenty of other countries. You're just not committed to one particular alliance.
But sir, I also feel that strategic relationship means that to some extent we will cooperate more with some countries of the world with whom India has a lot of benefits to come in the times to come.
So why not call it an alliance?
Sir, to some extent alliance means that India has to support that country in all the activities that it is doing in the world, which may not be correct. For instance, sir, if US is shifting its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, so India may not agree with it because India supports Palestinian cause.
How is this different from non-alignment?
Sir, non-alignment means that we are having an equidistance from all. It means that we are neither siding with anyone, neither are we opposing anyone. But whereas in this particular case, we may side with some countries in some areas which help us and ensure our interests are met at the global level.
So it's just another way of looking at non-alignment is what you can argue.
Sir, I think it's a kind of a quasi-alignment, depending on the situation.
So both the Indo-Israeli relations, it said that Israel provides strategic edge to India, and India provides strategic depth to Israel. Do you agree with this? How do you understand those relations?
Sir, I think that's
from all angles, social relations, technology, any angle. So how do you, is the statement correct? Is it fair that Israel provides the edge and not India, and India provides the depth to Israel? We are not even told our border.
I don't agree completely that we do not provide a depth and they provide an edge. So I think that both of them have their own significance. For instance, Israel is important for India because it has a lot of defense technology in agriculture, water management. It has done a lot of good work, and it can support India in programs like Smart Cities, Skill India, etc. And for Israel also, India remains significant because Israel would like to have good relations and influence in South Asian region and in the Indo-Pacific, which is emerging as a new area of interest for the world. And they would also see India from the cultural angle because India is one of the few countries where Jews really feel very safe. So under such circumstances, both provide each other some amount of edge and depth both. I will not consider anyone providing more edge and some providing more depth.
Which political thinker has the maximum impact on India's constitution, according to you?
Sir, I think Thomas Hobbes has.
Okay.
Sir, because Thomas Hobbes argues that there should be legal laws. Like natural laws generally will not work if society does not have reason. So in India, the constitution itself acts as one of the biggest rule book and law book of the country.
But doesn't Thomas Hobbes talk about the Leviathan?
Sir, Leviathan was the name of his books.
Yeah, what is this Leviathan?
Sir, its meaning is sea monster.
In the context of Thomas Hobbes' book, what is a liberal?
Sir,
Isn't it a very strong central government? Wouldn't that be something you associate with the presidential form of government?
Sir, Thomas Hobbes particularly talked about sovereignty to the state. He did not talk about the government as such. Like in India, sovereignty lies with the state, but it is to some extent divided between center and state governments and now even local bodies.
Yeah, but can the parliamentary form of government ever achieve Leviathan status? I mean, yes, one or two of our prime ministers have tried it, but they succeeded.
No, sir, I don't think that prime ministerial form of government always has some amount of checks and balances.
So do you want to change your answer or do you want to stick with Thomas Hobbes?
Sir, along with this concept, sir, I think Thomas Hobbes' other ideas are come close to our constitution.
What is the meaning of government shutdown in the context of USA, and why don't we have that term in India? Why doesn't it happen in India? Why does it happen in the US? What are the mechanisms?
Sir, in the US context, primarily government shutdown means that the House of Representatives of the US Congress does not approve giving the necessary money to the US government, the federal government, to run. Sir, it happens more in US because they have a presidential form of government, where generally the president and the House of Representatives may be from different party. The House of Representatives may be dominated by some other party. Like currently there is Democrats who are ruling in the House of Representatives, and Honorable American President Mr. Trump is from Republican Party. So because of that party politics, it happens there more. In Indian case,
Is that the issue? Is that the main crux of the matter for shutdown?
sir, in the current context in US,
Yeah.
sir, the main reason is related to the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump wants to make it.
Go on.
Sir, in terms of India, it doesn't happen more because we have a parliamentary form of government where the executive is the part of the legislature itself. So, if the executive is unable to get a budget passed from the Lok Sabha, it would mean that the executive actually does not have the confidence of the Lok Sabha, and he should resign and give his. The Prime Minister should give resignation to the President. So,
Is it a question of should resign if the budget is not passed by Lok Sabha? Is it a moral principle that government should resign?
sir, I think it should be a moral principle. Otherwise, the
What's the
government.
constitutional position?
So, Constitution does not specifically say so that if the budget is not passed, then the Prime Minister should resign.
Constitution is very specific about what happens if the budget is not passed.
Sorry, sir, I will have not seen it.
Who is your idol
Sir, from the service
in your life?
in your life, ma'am, I like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar because I like the kind of education that he got and the writings that he has written. I have read some of his writings like Annihilation of Caste, and the kind of dedication that he had despite coming from a backward community like the Dalits, and despite getting so much educated, the compassion that he had for his people, that is something I like about him.
You were a model best outgoing student. So what made you the best outgoing student?
Ma'am, it was primarily academics, because in my school, those top 5 people who come in the 10th standard exam getting good percentage, they are awarded this. So it was mostly for academics.
Yeah. Do you see any hobbies in your what?
Ma'am, since 10th standard, I want to be in the civil services, so my entire past 6-7 years went in this only. I tried to restrict myself from doing other activities that will consume my time. But sir, ma'am, whenever I have free time, I try to listen to some music or read some books. but it cannot be said as a hobby for which I specifically take out some time. Don't have.
Tell us what all you read, Ambedkar's literature. What all have you read?
Sir, I have primarily read is one of the book written by Vladimir Rodriguez on the writings of Dr. Ambedkar, where he has translated and edited some of his chapters.
So you didn't read original Ambedkar?
Sir, originally few of his books, but that was 4 or 5 years back currently.
So, which was?
Sir, it was Annihilation of Caste, Who Were the Shudras? That is.
Tell us the essence of Annihilation of Caste. What is he saying there?
Sir, in Annihilation of Caste, Dr. Ambedkar primarily tries to find what is the origin of the caste system and untouchability in the country. And he argues that the untouchables, they were actually not a part of the Hindu society, but they were the Buddhist people.
Are you mixing between two books? What you just started speaking seems to be from Who Were Shudras. What is the essential thesis of the book Annihilation of Caste?
Sir, according to me, essentially, he says that annihilation of caste would happen when there are intercaste marriages which happen in the society, and when the when the Dalits actually move out of the Hindu-dominated system, and then only the discrimination that happens against them in the Hindu system will come to an end.
Okay. Has that happened in the last 70 years?
Sir, to some extent it has become mild, but I will not say that it has completely ended. Because even today discrimination happens even on the basis of the name, the food habits, the clothing, and the kind of job that the Dalits do. Even today they are of the menial level only. Very few have been able to rise to the top positions. So it does happen.
Do you know that there are castes among Christians, Muslims and Sikhs in India? Do you know that?
Sir, I have heard a little bit that there are in Muslims also.
So walking out of Hindu fold, has it helped us, anybody, conquer castes, overcome castes?
No, sir, I don't think so. Because when a person gets born in a particular caste, that remains with that person, even if he comes out of it. Because the society still will think of him from that caste who has converted to some other religion or caste.
What is the essential thesis of the book Who Were Shudras?
Sir, in this book, Dr. Ambedkar tries to find out that who were the Shudras, as its name itself said. And as I said, that he tries to find that Shudras were actually not a part of the caste, the Hindu caste system or Varna system, but they were the one who followed Buddhism. And the Brahmins did not accept.
There is no caste system before Buddha?
No, sir, it was there. Buddha, in fact, challenged the caste system.
So, how come Shudras are original Buddhist people if Shudras are there even before Buddhism?
Sir, what I have read is that Dr. Ambedkar argues that they were the followers of Buddhism.
Later on, okay.
And the Brahmins did not do Upanayana Samskara, which is one of the Samskara done in Hinduism.
We are actually getting the feel that you don't seem to have read the original book. You are only citing the example because that is nowhere close to his original thesis of the book.
Sir, it has been 4 or 5 years.
So what?
In political science.
Do we ever forget something important we read?
And especially him being your idol.
Yeah. And very relevant at present. The whole issue is very relevant at present. You ask me, I read the book some 25 years ago.
How will having an idol affect your uniqueness as an individual? Does it help or does it hinder?
Sir, having an idol, I think, helps a particular person, because whatever kind of qualities a particular person, an idol may have, that can be taken by a person, like dedication or hard work, passion, etc.
How does it affect your uniqueness? Does it help to bring out your unique qualities, or does it actually suppress your unique qualities in the effort to become more like your role model?
Sir, it may be both the way, depending on how we perceive it. Sir, if we look towards our idol in a way that our uniqueness should not get affected by it, then the positive impact may come.
In what way have you looked at it? What has been your approach?
Sir, from Dr. Ambedkar.
Yeah.
Sir, from
Any other role model?
Sir, from Dr. Ambedkar, I have learned the dedication and having empathy towards the weaker sections of the society despite getting good education. So this is what I have taken from him.
So what is unique about you?
Unique about me, sir, I think I'm an introvert person. So that has not changed a lot despite Dr. Ambedkar being an idol.
So, two questions I want to ask you on each level, your instrumentation of football.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the difference between transponder and transducer?
Sir, I'll have to read. Currently, I'm not aware. Sir, I know about transformer, but transponder, I'm not read much.
And transducer?
Sir, transducer, I know.
So, you graduated just last year, right?
Yes, sir. But, sir, transponder, we did not read. I have read transformer and transducer.
Okay, tell me about transducer.
Sir, transducer can be said as any device which is used for converting one form of energy into another, and it also can be used as a sensor to detect a particular signal.
And one more question. You must have studied orifice plates.
Yes.
Can you tell me how many types there are, where are they used?
Sir, orifice plates are primarily used for flow measurement in a particular pipe, and they can be of different types depending on the type of material we use, like stainless steel or ceramic, or it also depends on the size, the shape of the obstacle. It may be circle. Again, the circle may be at the center or maybe at the upper or the lower position, or even a rectangular obstacle can be there, or triangular. That is the.
What is the solar alliance and what effect does India and USA have on the solar alliance? Are they in the same direction? How do Indian and American policies, what role do they play as far as the solar alliance is concerned? What is the solar alliance?
Sir, the International Solar Alliance you are talking about. Sir, International Solar Alliance was one of the alliance which was started by India and France in, I think, 2015 Paris Climate Deal Summit. And so this particular alliance tries to bring all those countries of the tropics and mid-tropics which are having a sufficient amount of solar energy potential. And as far as India and US are concerned, sir, currently both of them are at different positions from each other, because India wants the promotion of solar energy through the use of solar panels and other equipments, but America is trying to impose the intellectual property rights to prevent their use, and even terms like domestic content requirement are coming from them.
According to Dr. Ambedkar, how does the institution of marriage in social practice, how does it affect caste? And is caste connected more to the institution of social institution of marriage or to religion?
Sir, Dr. Ambedkar argued that marriage is one of the powerful way of ending the caste system, because if people from two castes marry with each other and when their blood will mix, then there will be a limited question of caste of the child who will be born. And so, what was the second part?
Yes, as far as ending the caste system, how does marriage influence the origin of the caste system?
Sir, origin of the caste system, sir, again.
Does it play a role in the origin of the caste system?
I'll have to see. But I think that when two people of different caste will marry,
that's as far as I think the caste system. We did recommend that. But in terms of how does the caste system originate? Did he give any credit to marriage as a cause of the origin of the caste system? Or the maintenance of the caste
I'll have to read about it.
What do you think about it? Let's forget Dr. Ambedkar for a second. Okay. So, not thinking of our own model, but in terms of your own unique thought of it. What do you think about it? Feel free to guess. What think about it? Apply about it.
Sir, the role of marriage on caste system, or
how does it influence the origin and maintenance of the caste system, not the ending of the caste system? How do you think marriage?
Sir, generally people of the same caste marry with each other. So, marriage.
Why do people of the same caste marry each other?
So, I think it is basically because everyone feels that their caste, they should marry in their own caste itself to ensure that their caste continues to remain.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.